We will get started here. First question from Tony Harvey.
Hey, Coach Walton, how are you doing this Sunday afternoon?
I'm good, Tony. Thanks.
Just want to ask you, about the distractions going on around Marvin Bagley III. Of course, I've had a couple conversations with his parents, and they genuinely are some really kind people. And of course, they want their son to have some success. I know you have dealt with, these type of situations before down in LA, with the Ball family. What is your thoughts about, what's going on? I know you're trying to keep it out the locker room, at least I would be, but the fans really need to know how this thing is going to be controlled, because it is a distraction.
No, we went into practice today. We had a good practice. We had a good film session. And our focus was on what we can improve on from the Houston game. What we did some really nice things in the Houston game, and we did some things that we clearly got to get better at. So the first part of practice was focused on that, and then we got on the court. We worked on our offense, our 5-on-0, got a bunch of shots up, and had a great energy in there. The group was once again working at a high level. And that's where we're at as a group. That's what's important to us, and that's where our focus stays.
James Ham.
Hey, Luke, when it comes to Marvin and I guess the rest of your players, what are the lines of communication like? He said he feels like he has an open line of communication with you, and he can discuss things with you. But is there that pressure that you're feeling from him, or that he's feeling from the situation, that you can kind of address?
No, I listen. I like keeping things within the group. So, generally speaking, to that question, James, yeah, I have an open line of communication with Marvin. We've had very honest talks. Things we talk about, I'll keep between us. But yeah, we've had throughout my time here, we've had a lot of good talks, and about honest things, which is what I believe a coach and players should have. And this is nothing different, nothing new. But with him and all the guys that I coach, I try to make that a high priority, and understanding that not everyone's always going to be happy, but the communication will always be there, and always available.
Sean Cunningham.
Hey, Luke. This obviously is just such an important year for Marvin, coming off of injury. And obviously he was saying a lot of the right things about having a chip on his shoulder coming into this season. I'm just curious, from your standpoint, through 6 games, where do you think he's at, both physically from the performances he's had, but also from a confidence standpoint, where he might stand?
Yeah, I think he's doing well. I've told him, I think that he's making, like, there's progress being made that we can see game to game, and just the understanding of what we need him to do and what the team needs him to do, and then what he's trying to do individually. So I'm pleased with what he's giving us, and I'm pleased with it's like I said the whole time, he's gonna be a very good basketball player in this league, and it's nice to have him. This again is a very short amount of time we've had him, but it's the longest that we've had him. So it's nice to get this time together, to be able to sit there and watch film, and to see him from one game in Houston to where maybe Eric Gordon gets a right hand drive on him, and then the next game when he gets switched on him, he does a heck of a job of taking that right hand away and forcing him left. So, like, those little types of things that really add up when you're trying to win games. It's good to see him and some of the other guys, younger guys that are having those chances to go through that stuff.
Jason Jones.
Hey, how you doing, Luke?
Jason.
Hey, whether as a player or as an assistant coach, you've been in some pretty high-profile media markets in terms of the amount of attention, distractions that are possible. Just how was it different managing those situations as a coach than it was as a player? Because I know the player you were in a situation where you had a lot of attention as well. Just how is it different managing it now?
Yeah, I would say as a player, the good teams that I was a part of, other than probably that my rookie year when Shaq and Kobe were on each other a little bit. But even then, most of those good teams I was a part of as a player, we felt the responsibilities of not letting any of that outside stuff get in and affect us. Like it would be verbalized. Like, look, the only people that really, are invested in this are us. So like we would take it to that level of talking about it, to make sure that we kept things in house, to make sure we didn't let whatever rumors or anything else going on out there distract us from what we were trying to be. Now the teams I played on that didn't have that success would really let those type of things kind of seep in and not handle it. So from a player there's a responsibility to live up to that, which I think our guys have done a nice job of. As a coach, my belief is never let a little thing turn into a big thing. So you don't have to overreact to much, but you got to address and communicate things out, just to make sure. And normally a quick conversation is enough to keep the group moving. And then I just have to have a pulse on the whole thing to make sure that that something that it is out there isn't affecting the group.
We'll take a couple more questions. Marshall Harris.
Hey, Luke. I just didn't know if there was any update on Tyrese Halliburton and whether you'll get that before you get back to Sacramento or not. And also just the matchup tomorrow with the Warriors. How much preparation can you do on what they have now compared to, I guess, what you saw last season and them reacclimating, I guess, Draymond Green, and he changes what they do?
Yeah, so they play again tonight, so we'll get some more good footage on that. And yeah, you throw out last year altogether with having Steph back and the changes that they've made, but having Draymond adds a whole nother dimension to scout for and to prep for. That'll be different than when we played them in the preseason. But they present a lot of unique challenges themselves. So we got our coaches working on it, and we'll present that plan to the players in the morning.
Jason Anderson.
Hey, Luke, good to see you today. Is there a good way? Is there any appropriate way for a family member to get involved in, in say their son's NBA career, and how much has that kind of dynamic in the league changed over the years with the advent of social media and other things that make everyone a little more connected?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The social media part has obviously changed it. It's changed the way that the whole all the information gets out and gets around. But yeah, I don't have an answer to the first part of your question. I don't know. I mean, I know families are there to be supportive, but we're in a league that is we're professionals at what we do. We have a job to do, and we have to do it as a group. That's what makes our job fun and interesting and hard, is getting a group of different people from different backgrounds and trying to get everybody to buy in for the greater good of the team. And that's what that's what we're here doing. I think we've done a nice job with that so far.
We'll take two more questions today. Christos Saltas from Greece.
Hello, Coach. About the two games against the Rockets, what would you like to keep from those two games, and what would you like to change about the game against the Warriors?
Well, I thought that for 6 of the 8 quarters against the Rockets offensively, we did some really nice things as far as what we're talking about, moving the ball, playing with pace, getting the certain types of shots. And then those last 2 quarters, we got to be better on. We got to be better. They picked up the defensive intensity and kind of took us out of what we were trying to accomplish. And then I thought, on the other hand, pretty much, we really challenged our players defensively after that first game. in a lot of different ways, from understanding scouting reports to understanding personnel to being locked in and committed to the scheme. And I thought our players did a heck of a job of responding to that. Even in the first half, when Houston scored a bunch of points, I mean, they were hitting threes and contested twos, and the transition defensive part of the game wasn't great for us, and a lot of that had to do with our turnovers. But the individual defense, the low man, the scheme stuff that we've been struggling with took a big step. So I was very pleased to see that. Unfortunately, they ended in losses, but that's going to happen throughout the throughout the league. Every night, someone's losing to somebody. So, but I was pleased with the improvement we made on that end of the court, and I'd like to see that continue into this Golden State game.
Last question, James Ham.
Hey, Luke, it's 6 games into the season, and you guys are 3-3. You've actually played really well for most of the stints here. How do you balance bringing along young players and going for wins? Because at the end of the day, you will be judged on your win-loss record as much as anything else. But how do you balance that? When is it time to give a young player an opportunity, and when is it time to go for a win?
Yeah, I mean, look, we need to play a certain way, and it's a very interesting balancing act. But we also believe in that. We're going into every game with the expectations of playing a certain way and trying to win. And if guys are playing that way, then they're going to continue to play as the game goes on. If we feel like we have a better chance of winning, changing that plan up a little bit, then we'll make adjustments in the game. But a lot of it comes down to, at the end, it's like, guys that have proven, that have been there and done it and shown us that they're making winning plays. A lot of times you look at guys like, Rashawn and Harrison and the experience that they've gone through already. Like there's a trust and a chemistry built there. So, those guys are normally going to get the first crack at it. And then as other players are having big games, right? Like Tyrese has had a couple big games where I was planning on getting him out as a young player. And then, he makes a corner three with 2 minutes to go. And then as a coaching staff, you're like, all right, well, this guy is, we got to he's got to be out there as well. And then we make more adjustments. So it's part of, kind of growing as a group and getting familiar with it. And then there's a balancing part of who do we normally trust? And then who is having, a good game who's everyone in this league is capable of having huge nights. This is the best league in the world. So then there's mixing that part into the equation as the game's going on.